Hi guys. So in today's video, we are going to do a deep dive on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, basically 4 months after the launch. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you like this video, also give a thumbs up. So now even though the world is looking forward to the Note 20 series, which is going to launch around September, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra is still a fresh flagship and there are a lot of decent deals around it. The Note 20 is still a couple of months away and would be even more expensive. So has the tons of software updates made significant improvements to this phone? And are they enough to forget about the issues that this phone launched with? Let's find out. Do watch the video till the end because we are going to have a detailed discussion on all the points. Now without wasting any further time, let's get started. Let's start with the design first and how it is in day-to-day handling. Well, to be honest, I love the design. The weight distribution and the size really gives it a premium feel, and I don't seem to mind that huge camera bump anymore. Just one thing to mention, that all this love comes from not using the case. But for protection we do need to use the case, and with that the device isn't that comfortable. You see, the phone is already one of the largest out there, and even though it has been designed well by Samsung, the case makes it more bulkier. And the slightly curved edges, even though they are perfect this time, with a case that has raised edges on all the sides, the edge panel gets difficult to operate. This wouldn't have been a case with a flat screen device. Also, the weight of the device can be too much sometimes. On the bright side, it will help you reduce prolonged phone usage, but let me tell you, while watching movies and stuff, better put it on a stand, because your hands do start to feel fatigue. Let's switch to the front panel of this device. Firstly, let me get this out of the way. I don't even notice the front punch hole anymore. Its central placement and the size is just perfect, and most movie apps don't even reach the punch hole, so you get an all-screen viewing experience. At first, I wasn't that excited with the display, but it is the best out there and has a lot of potential. It has features and customizations that you won't know you even needed. The colors are great. It's a great display. So what about that 120Hz display? Well, at first I wasn't that excited, but now that I'm getting used to it, going back to the 60Hz is a little painful. Also, I still feel that the 60Hz on this phone is a little laggier than other devices, mainly on the UI. This clearly looks like a software thing and I hope Samsung works on it. And I'm saying this after reducing the animations in the developer settings. And to be honest, I'm not able to see much of a difference in playing games as well, even after using the game booster, which is pretty cool by the way. Still, there have been some frame drops and lags, which we'll come to in a bit. But my point is that apart from scrolling through the UI and other apps, I never actually felt the advantage of that 120Hz. So it's like a small step up, but nothing huge. Now let's talk about the battery life. The battery optimization sometimes needs some tweaking. For example, I had to sometimes compromise on the high refresh rate and things like always on display and the edge lighting to get through the day. And if you need the highest performance from this phone, then make sure you keep your charger with you, as it will not last even a day. With my usage, I'm mostly charging at night too. It can be different for you. But even though the battery has a lot of capacity and potential, the OS and the processor do not support it that well. Hence, you need to learn your way through to make this phone last till the next morning. But I'm glad that Samsung has provided the fast charger in the box itself. And it is pretty good. I can just charge for a couple of minutes and get significant amount of juice. Now the Note 20 is rumored to come with a smaller battery, but it has a more battery efficient display, so can't wait to get hands on it. Now let's get to the processor that this phone comes with, the Exynos 990 chip. Everyone hated Samsung for putting this Exynos chip in this phone. But to be honest, I never hated it, and I still don't. But I would admit that nobody is wrong about it. There have been times when the phone would just heat up by doing some random background tasks, and it even makes the photo capturing experience a little slower, and it also reflects in gaming. Even though the game booster shows significant improvement in the smoothness of the game, but the processor just cannot keep it consistent. It does get all your job done, but sometimes with a few hiccups. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the cameras. Let's start with the front camera first. I would say that with the software updates, the front camera has improved a lot. I mean, previously there have been some instances when I lost some footage on the front camera while using some filters or even on the live focus mode. But now that's gone. The camera has become more reliable. The night mode on the front camera too is pretty much usable now. At first I was disappointed in it because it did not produce that well colors and did not brighten up the image at all. but now it really does well, and I think you can get great selfies out of it. Now the back cameras. If you haven't checked my previous review of this phone, then please do check that out as well. I'll be linking that in the card above. In that review, I have shown a lot of camera samples, and there's also an autofocus test after the June update, which also I'll be linking on the card above. So make sure you check out those videos for the photo and video samples. Firstly, 108 megapixel mode. I am still not sure why it is there. It clearly seems to be a marketing gimmick, because using the 108 megapixel mode, you lose a lot of features, and apart from a good lighting landscape scenario, I don't think it works better than the 12 megapixel mode, or even as well as the 12 megapixel mode. The 12 megapixel mode on the other hand is super amazing. The large sensor size really shows in the images. They let in a lot of light, and low light images are pretty crisp. They are much cleaner, and it even captures LED lights with a lot of details. I mean, I usually get great pictures right from the camera, which I sometimes even don't need to edit. I'm glad that there is a pro mode for both the camera and the video, but maybe I'm using it wrong. The photos out of it are not consistent. I mean, you tweak all the settings and it looks good on the viewfinder, but the final image isn't that impressive, and it's totally different. I prefer the camera to make these settings on its own. One thing I want to mention is that I'm a little disappointed with the shutter speed. This wasn't the case out of the box, but now it is, especially in the live focus mode. You need to give it some time. This may or may not be fixed with the future software updates, but it ultimately means that you have to ask your human subjects to stay put a little longer. On these situations, I prefer using the single take mode, which is really fun, and the results are usually impressive. Now let's talk about that zoom. To be honest, even though it works exceptionally well, I don't see much of a use case other than a party trick or to capture monuments from far. So I see a lot of new phones catching up to this ultra zoom trend, but you need to decide if you really need it. It's a good to have thing, but cannot be considered as an exciting feature on its own. Now let's talk about the night mode. I have always loved the night mode on this. It pops up images and gives a great color boost. But do note that it does not always work perfectly. Sometimes you're just better off using the normal mode. So I usually take with both the modes. Also, we cannot force the longer exposure in the night mode itself. It just decides on its own. Sometimes I feel like using the night mode algorithm, but it just doesn't allow, even though having a dedicated night mode. So if you guys know of any hacks or tips for this, then do let me know in the comment section. Now let's talk 8K. Well, apart from testing it out, I never really use 8K. The low frame rate and also the space it takes. Also, the Exynos processor does not give you a proper smooth preview in the viewfinder. It's very shaky even though the final output is fine. But recording, storing, and even rendering 8K videos downscaled to 4K is a pain. And with the larger sensors now, 4K is more than good enough. Please do check out my camera test in the card above. Let's quickly talk about Samsung DeX. It's a great tool for using your phone on your PC, but sometimes it doesn't feel that optimized, especially while playing videos. So hopefully some updates would fix it. But one thing I'm glad with is that this phone comes with a faster storage. Copying files onto this device is so much faster. I tend to usually copy my videos first onto my phone to review them, and even 2GB 4K videos get transferred in just a couple of seconds. Now guys, let me know if you use Bixby at all in the comment section. I do use it, but only for a few normal tasks like setting the alarm or reminder, but not more than that. And I have just turned off the Samsung daily screen because it literally offers nothing. To conclude, I must say that this device is ultra. Everything you get in a phone is pushed to its limit, and whether the phone handles it or not is a different story, but mostly it does. I personally think that if you're getting a great deal on this phone, and if you don't need an S Pen, then you definitely won't regret it. Even when the Note 20 comes out, we'll see how much better it performs than the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. This phone is still a beast. And with the software updates, which are by the way coming in impressively fast, there has been tons of improvement with this phone. And it is actually starting to prove its name of an ultra flagship in most aspects. So that's it guys. Do let me know if you have any queries in the comment section, and also watch my other videos which I'll be linking in the cards above. Please do subscribe to my channel and also like this video. It will help me stay motivated to improve my quality and also provide such helpful content for you. Thank you.